Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Harakah Kadash, double honors to the apostles and those who got no son of Rowell. Shalom to the rest of the word, serial truth. Just kind of gonna go into how, the current times now is, everything's intensifying, and it's kind of like the average Joe is now more clued into what's going down, to where they're now just like kind of looking at the events going around, and it's becoming clearer. Everything's not just going to return to as it was, and things are going to intensify. It's got in the article, I've got the article here obviously, it goes into like the things that have gone down and how it's kind of been an escalation, and it's kind of clear, like it's been a little while, because it's kind of, it kind of tracks from like 2016, but then as it goes into detail, more and more things kind of come together to where it's like people realize like, it's something's getting ready to go down, man. It's getting peak. So it's on NBC. It says U.S. prepper culture diversifies amid fear of disaster and political unrest. And as far as for diversifying, is what they've obviously got the Jake woman there. But it's increasing. It's more people are getting into it. Because why? There was a period of time where it might have just been, people on the lowest end, people were having hard times or whatever, that were kind of feeling something. But then now it's moved to the point where everyone's kind of feeling it. Like good examples, like the cost of living crisis. You go back like 10 years, there would have been like a few people here and there where they might have been touched by it, and they might have just been like not doing too well, whatever. But now it's these things are hitting people on all levels. It's not just like if you're making minimum wage, whatever. It's like even people that are meant to be doing well for themselves, years back they might have been like, I could have taken like X amount of months off or weeks off and done certain things. But now it's that same thing can't be done anymore. They're just kind of left like, well, shit, I'm just kind of out here having to like, I've didn't realize it's like they might have had a kid and then been like, oh, they were doing relatively well before, and now they're just kind of looking like, damn, like I can't even have another one. I was looking to have two, but I can only have the one. So it's more people kind of been touched by it, to where they're like, now these things have become a lot more significant. And then they're just kind of looking like, yo, is this economy just going to work out? Is this civil war going to pop off? Because that's another thing that's highlighting, how many rights and laws that currently exist. Like Second Amendment for these Americans always. How many of them are going to last? They might be thinking, nah, we need to kind of, buckle down. So as I say, Brooke Morgan surveyed booths at the Survival and Prepper show in Colorado that were stocked with boxes of ammunition, mounds of trauma medical kits, and every type of knife imaginable. A self-described 30-year-old lesbian from Indiana, Morgan is one of a new breed of Americans. If that's the black woman. No, it's not. Okay. Well, I don't know who that is. Morgan is a new breed of Americans getting ready to survive political upheaval and natural catastrophes, a pursuit that until recently was associated with far-right movements such as white nationalists until the 1980s. Researchers say the number of preppers had doubled in size to about 20 million since 2017. Much of that growth is from minorities and those considered left of center politically, whose sense of insecurity was heightened by Donald Trump's 2016 election, the pandemic, more frequent extreme weather, and the 2020 racial justice protests. So, what's the things they bring up? Donald Trump 2016. So just general political shifts, which, it's the 2024 elections, and that's something that you can already see warming up. Hella people are kind of being drawn into the vortex, and it's like what is centering around right now is like the border migration, essentially, which has always been a huge disparity between the left wing and the right wing, of America. And it's getting to the point where people are, violence is getting involved. People having to go and physically get involved. Then was the other thing, extreme weather. Yeah, that weather's been peaking more and more often, especially in America, because that's kind of the hub. And I would say the pandemic's a key thing that's kind of really shifted people's minds, because it's like post-pandemic, it's really not returned. It's kind of introduced a whole different kind of way of thinking. And then what racial justice protests, so the race wars, those huge racial tensions that have been building up. And I was going to touch on the Haiti thing because, I kind of get around to it. So that's what I'm really surprised by, the number of people of color here. Morgan said, I always went to these shows with my family in Indiana. It was just white people who were my parents' age. There's a lot of younger people here too. It's a real change. See, even younger people get involved as well. Because why? All these things now, it's become way more. Well, it's basically gone through social media. It's gone through channels where younger people are kind of looking into it. And because why? The things are hitting and impacting them. Really, from like the millennials generation, they've kind of been hit by all these different all these different issues, especially monetary wise. That's been one of the biggest things, because like millennials went into adulthood just as the 2008 financial crash happened, so it's kind of wiped out a bunch of opportunity, essentially, that capability to go up into Babylon and have and enjoy that certain lifestyle that prior generations got. The millennials and onwards haven't had that same chance. So, they've got a bone to pick with that, and they're just kind of looking at it like, and the funny thing is, a lot of people would rather that the system does collapse as it is, which is funny because that's what's going on. That's what people are witnessing. This is why people are all invested in it. That's why they're thinking like, we need to be ready. Because why? You have all these movies coming out. You have this vibration being pushed out constantly. And the thing is they're seeing things which you go back 10, 15 years were like science fiction ideas, like the MOTB, the microseahit. That's a big one where people are kind of looking at it like, what's this thing? Well, I guess it's kind of like something in the future, but now they're seeing it. They're like, okay, so that dystopian future is coming closer. AI is a big one, these and all these different systems, basically, where machines essentially, or like computerized systems, are kind of gonna be taking over various aspects of things that they didn't before in their life. They're looking at things like, this is it's a different frontier. And the thing is, obviously not everyone. The vast majority of people are just kind of making do. They're just living their life. They're just doing their thing. But, like the article goes into, there's more people than before. And really, as far as with prophecies, these things are moving. There's going to be, basically the elect. They're going to see these things coming. But then there's people in the world where they're going to see these things as well. And they might take action, they might, do certain things. So as I say, Morgan grew up in a prepper family and still considers herself self-reliant and ready to handle a disaster. But she left the prepper world of her youth behind, in part to escape the conservatism associated with the movement. Okay. So was there something else? We no longer feel you can the government pirates provide the basics like water, electricity, food. Well, yeah, like it says, they cited the pandemic disruption of supply chains, the 2021 power grid crisis in Texas that left millions without power, and the recent outages for thousands of AT&T mobile users. Yeah, we had, you had, what was it, a few days back as well, Instagram and Facebook went down for like a matter of hours as well. So those big outages are a thing. So people are really seeing, and it's funny because people that like would have been like grown up in like India, Africa, so-called third world, they would have those would have been things that would have just been normal, where you kind of know, like, oh, you have a backup generator. The power might go out for a few hours, or it might just be like, okay, it goes out, and then you wait like half an hour and then whatever, and then just fire up the generator, and you'll kind of have it. And it's like, Ghana, Nigeria, like most people will kind of have, when they build their own estate, they'll have a backup generator, because they know that's a thing. They'll have like a water tower. I think they're called water towers. A water tower as well, with it kind of stored to kind of have their own accessible water. But that's something that in the Western world, there's been so much abundance for so long that those things are kind of alien. So these things are now becoming a reality again, to where, and it's again like the big movie from last year was that kind of went into it was Leave the World Behind. And what did it say? She said she was self-reliant. Yeah, so Morgan grew up in a prepper family and still considers herself self-reliant and ready to handle a disaster. Yeah, so that's kind of like the mindset you'd need to have, where you can kind of have your own little unit and have enough capabilities to survive. When you're in the city, it's like if you're in a city in a tower block or some shit, that shit, like, all those things are going to be off. There's going to be no water running, no electricity, no gas, whatever. People are going to be packed like sardines. It's going to get wild. That's why it's like Leave the World Behind. It was them guys out in the sticks where they avoided like all the carnage that was going on. And that's really the approach you would have to have, man. Because otherwise, but then again, that's where faith comes in. Because why? We're essentially relying on faith, relying on Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua Hashem Harakah Kadash to keep us safe within that time. And whatever is appointed to us, then Lord willing, He gives us a capability to endure through it and to make it through. Lord willing, we be of the elect, which that's we strive, we do this work in hope that we are of the elect. So Jeremiah 30:6, it says, "Well, ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hand on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even a time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." Yeah. So I said, what, the men had their hands on their bowels as if they'll, in travail, like a woman about to give birth, like the contractual pains of giving birth. Because why? For the men, it's going to be that intense. It's going to be that raw. It's going to be that real, to where the shit going down is going to be peak. And that's the thing. That's why people are prepping. Because it's going to be people going without food, going without water. No electricity, nothing. No infrastructure. And then in the midst of that, in the dark, when the lights go out, then what? It goes back to a more primal, more core kind of, forms of judgment, man. People will be able to go out and just, if a guy's got a weapon, then he'll be able to go out and decimate people left, right, and center. There might be the military holding down certain spots, but then it's like, for you to engage with that, then that's where the micro C-hip comes in, because that's the other huge aspect of it. That MOTB, that's going to be a facet. So it's for you to think like, okay, if you're going to go to Esau for shelter, then that's going to be to your detriment in the long run. Because why? You're basically going to have to bow and bend within their system and receive that micro C-hip, man. And that's not even going to be salvation. Because why? It says what? There's going to be that cancer, man. That those who take it will get. They're gonna be blighted. But then what? It's basically gonna be everyone touched by it, man. So I read this, Luke 21 and 25, and it says, "And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring." Yeah, so distress of nations with perplexity. All people upon the earth are going to be feeling that perplexity, man. All that ease is going to cease to be. And then you go into that word, perplexity. With perplexity, it's aporia, which is what the state of one who's in perplexity, and then I think I have to go to the root, which is what?
Strong's G 639. Apareo.
So apareo. So it says what? To be without resources, to be in straits, to be left wanting. So that's basically going to be, a dearth of all the things that people have now. Now you can go to Tesco, you can buy a bottle of water, you can buy a meal deal, you can buy a sandwich and a cup of tea, and you'll kind of, be able to sate your needs. But then there's going to be a point in time where that's going to cease to be. You're gonna go to Tesco, and there ain't going to be nothing on the shelves. And that's the thing is, they mentioned the what do you call it? They mentioned what did they say? The pandemic, and that was when everyone got a taste of it. When you went to Tesco, everything was empty. All the shelves was empty. Man couldn't see shit out there. So they, that perplexity is gonna hit, and it's gonna be intense. Because that's the thing is, there's places where they're tasting, and that's like, a good example would be like Gaza or Ukraine, where they're basically being hit with that intense perplexity, that those straits. And it's gonna be peak. What does it say? Verse 26: men's hearts failing them for fear, and for looking after those things which are coming to the on the earth. For the powers of heaven shall be shaken. Yeah, men's hearts failing them for fear, which it said before. That's the thing. It's going to be such an intense trial and tribulation, trials and forms of tribulation, that people are going to be faint. Because why? As far as for how it is now is a time of relative ease. Like I said, you can go, you can go out, you can work a job, you can get paid, you can fill your belly, you can sate your needs, but that's all gonna crumble down. I read this as well. Ezekiel 5 and 8 says, what? Therefore fusseth the Most High Power, behold, I am against thee, and will execute judgment in the midst of thee, in the sight of the nations. And I will do in thee that which I have not done, and whereunto I will not do any more the like, because of all thine abominations. Therefore the fathers shall eat the sons in the midst of thee, and the sons shall eat their fathers, and I will execute judgment in thee, and the whole remnant of thee will I scatter into all the winds. So yeah, the fathers eating the sons, and the sons eating the fathers. That just came to mind because you had this situation in Haiti where there's meant, men are meant to be out here eating, those video that went viral, which they took it down. Man's got the tweet here, but it says what, breaking. It has disturbing footage of the Haitian cannibal gang eating body parts of one of their victims as he cooks in a fire. The Haiti cannibal gang leader is named Barbecue. So, a bit down they're saying this video is meant to be what do you call it? From it's apparently it's not meant to be. It's meant to be from 2 years ago. In the Arbanite Valley. So apparently it's not related, but then that whole vibration going out. It's even Haiti fulfilled. What was it? Eating the doo-doo cakes, man. That was something that happened during the 2010 what was it called, the 2010 earthquake, where these guys were completely decimated, though desolated, and the man had to be out there selling fucking doo-doo cakes that they left out in the sun, and man had to eat that, which was was in the prophecy. I was in Ezekiel. So if the father's eating the son, and the thing is as well, as Haiti's been a mess for the last couple of years. It's been a kind of back and forth, and now it's like this guy's meant to have taken over, so I speak. Because what does it say? So it says in this clip, a man. So this is on albawaba.com. I just skipped down a bit. So after it says, in the clip, a man is seen, because you can't, they took it down. I mean, I could find a copy, but even if I found a copy, if I put that in the video, then they just, they'll nuke the channel. But it says, in the clip, a man was seen chewing on something similar to a human finger, then went on to tear flesh out of the leg of the person who was on fire. According to the Hindustan Times, the video was first shared on Instagram, along with a caption, disturbing footage of the Haitian cannibal gang eating body parts of one of their victims as he cooks in the fire. Well, they said it got deleted from most social media platforms, so it's probably going to be long to find it. But then, yeah, it's if men are out here eating motherfuckers, then, shit's gone fucking. Well, that was a wild situation. It was meant to be from before, but then it's peak. Because as far as with that, then it just shows like it's at that time when judgments are coming to pass. Because really, for people to be eating like to be getting eaten, that's complete madness. But then the guy's name is Barbecue anyway, so yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let me hit this. So Revelation 12:12, and it says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time." And yeah, that's that great wrath coming down. Because why? We're in the time of the end. That's why everything seems to be quick, getting quicker, getting more intense, getting sharper. It's more things are happening, and it's really not a matter of like kind of. There's no reprieve. There's no time where it lets up. It doesn't slow down, and it's already evident we're in the time of the end. Because why? The key prophecies: World War III. The micro sea hip, and then that time of Jacob's trouble. These things are right on the cusp, man. Esau's come out here and already had to say like, talking about so-called UFOs and UAPs, talking about the chariots. These things are now come out and put broadcast into the public. Because why? Now everything's intensified. They want to have in the minds of the people. So when Yahushua makes his return. You go into 2nd Esdras 13, all these nations are going to, come together and fight against Yahushua. To their demise, to their doom. So now all these things, it's ready to be fulfilled, man. It lets you know it's close, man. Yeah. Believe so. Would it be? Yeah. Revelation 3:10, it says, "Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, to try them that dwell upon the earth. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown." So yeah, the hour of temptation, that's what come to try all them that dwell on the earth, man. Everyone on the earth out here getting tried. And that's where it's going to be peak. These guys being these preppers, these guys, they might be on a 3-hour drive away from where they got all their shit stashed. And they might not even be able to get to it. That's something you saw in the road. That's something you see in Leave the World Behind as well, where they had there was the house that was like at the end where the girl goes to watch that episode, like the episode of Friends, the Friends finale, when she gets there, the whole house has been set up as prepped, all kinds of food, drink, electricity, everything all set up. But then the people didn't get there, and then you see like all the roads out of the city were done, like they weren't even there to take advantage of it. So this is something where it's going to be spiritual, how you get through these things, man. You can't just be like, oh well, I have that shit on lock. It's gonna be all through the spirit. So yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom. Yabashim Shabashim Kakadash Shalom.